We're going to do a little demonstration on application, but we're just going to use water. So typically, we're just, everything's going to be done with a polyester brush. It's a nice cheap brush. And what this brush does, it it doesn't hold anything in it. It's just enough to help us carry the material into the product. Now, even though we're doing tests and applications using water, typically in your bonding solution, you're only going to use a half a cup. So it's just a half a cup mix is all we're going to do. And half a cup is workability. Half a cup is manageable. We don't splash. So you pour half a cup in a cup. And then you'll be adding your 4 teaspoon mix that we supply you into it. And then you're going to stir. And what we do is we stir. There's no binders in it to keep it suspended, so it's always settling. So you're going to have to stir every time, and you never run the cup dry. And you can reapply a new mix over top of this later. Actually, you could do 8 teaspoons to a full cup, but again, to keep from splashing, and a half a cup will stain actually a lot of brick. So you stir, and you drain, and when you drain, try to drain towards you in case you ever get too high and you flick yourself. You want to flick yourself, not flick the wall. So you stir, you drain real good, you train the brush on the side of the cup, and then it's workable, okay? When you stain, I'm going to show you exactly how they stained in the lab. What they did in the lab, they went down the middle, and then they did overlapping brush strokes. And you overlap about halfway. And then you hit the bottom and the top a little bit. And then you go in the next one, next joint. And then you do it again, the same thing again. We do overlapping brush strokes. And the next one, straight down. And then again, it's overlapping brush strokes. That is how the sample was made in the lab with overlapping brush strokes. Again, we're just practicing with water. Now there's another way you could do it. And you could try this. And again, we're going to drain, towards us, train the brush, then stain. Is you could try this. And you just go down and you get the inside real good. And then you could try just lightly be parallel with the brush and take it across over the top. And then see how your sources, how it looks, how the blend looks with what you're trying to match. So those are 2 possible options as far as staining and applying. What you want to do sometimes when you're coming down, you got a mortar joint you got to protect. It's good. We usually carry a nice blue towels. You can pick them up anywhere. We usually have a wet towel. And if you get in anything in the mortar, just brush, lightly wipe it out of the mortar. Just lightly wipe it out of the mortar as long as it's wet. The problem is once it dries. The nice thing about our product, it's not a paint. It'll never hurt a brick. Absorption's the key. So we need to get in. So when you think about it, it's a little smoother in here, so you're going to have to take your time with it. This is an odd thing, so application is key. So we drain, we train, you always stir every time, and then you're kind of working the brush in the middle because you're trying to get both sides, okay? And then it's just simply going overlapping brush strokes all the way down, okay? And then you hit it again. You might have to touch up a little bit. You got to be careful because if more times you hit it, it actually affects the color. And then overlapping brush strokes again. And then you can do overlapping brush strokes again. And then again, inside the groove, being careful we didn't mess that up. Overlapping brush strokes again. So that's just a little sample, little test of practicing with water. And I'd have any of your guys practice with water first to get kind of idea with it. The pigment will add a little bit of texture and thickness to it, but not much. Once it's diluted, it's all translucent that goes on, so your brick will never look painted. And you don't want to keep hitting it a bunch of times. So it's not like paint where you move it around. It's a penetrating stain. So how many times you hit it, it will be how many times you affect it. So that's why I'm using water versus stain, because every time I stain it, we'll start building stain on the brick, and we don't want to do that. We want it to be able to look natural. Any questions, let us know. Thank you.